Are you feeling like a zombie lately? Tired of the same old energy drinks promising the world but delivering the jitters and a crash? Look no further than Sneak Energy, your secret weapon for all your energy needs. With all natural ingredients, Sneak will give you all the energy you need to boost through your day without feeling like a lab rat on caffeine. Don't believe us? Try it yourself and see what a difference it can make to your routine. So what are you waiting for? Hit the link in the description and pick up your Sneak Starter Pack today. Now enjoy the clip. What's today's scores? What I want to do at half time is have a bit of a chat about Manager of the Year. A couple of weeks ago we did a poll, 8 managers, but I think we're getting to the point now where Pep Guardiola has to be Manager of the Year, or are you still putting an argument out for somebody else? Get your comments in. Gary O'Neill says Scott Owen. Right, so look, I want some good comments coming in about who's manager. I'm not doing a poll on this one. I want to know who's Manager of the Year and why you're justifying it. Just a couple of sentences. Let me know. That's what I want to do, because we did a poll a few weeks ago and I can't remember who won it, but it wasn't Pep Guardiola. So I want to know who you're getting and why. Because I think that the reason I wanted to bring this up was I spoke to a Fulham fan on Talk Sport last night. And when you look at them, where Fulham are in the league and the fact that their season basically ended with the Mitrovic thing, yet they've still had a good season. And I'll back this up with the stats of the league table. Let's just take that. There it is. Look, Fulham are in 10th place with, 51 points? They'd probably have another 6-7 points if Mitrovic hadn't got an 8-game ban, which would put them up to 6th. So I think Fulham have had and remember, Fulham got promoted. So, you know, I think Brighton... Sorry, not Brighton. I think Bournemouth and Forest have had a good season. Remember, Fulham got promoted. And I think Fulham would be easily top 8 if they hadn't lost Mitrovic, and I think he got a ban that was a bit unfair. So, look, I think as a starter for 10, I think that Marco Silva gets underrated, in my opinion. I was asked this morning. Who do you think is the most underrated team in the Premier League? Which is another question. And I think that Fulham are massively underrated. I know they're 10th, but that Mitrovic ban basically cost them probably 7 points. That's an incredible promotion. I think Fulham are massively underrated. So that's my starter for 10. I think Marco Silva doesn't get the credit he deserves. A few people are saying Eddie Howe. Look, Eddie Howe 100% has got to be in there. If Newcastle get Champions League, I know it's been a bit of a cliche for years, but it is a trophy. It's not a trophy, but you know what I mean. It's considered a trophy. You could do a tier list for Premier League managers this year, says Sam. Good idea. Thomas Frank deserves a lot of credit as well. I think they've been brilliant. Brighton, De Zerbi, they've done very well as well. Emery, in the short period of time he's been there. I mean, Tottenham are the intruder, aren't they? I mean, I'm almost saying, why are Tottenham there? We're championing Fulham and Brentford and Brighton and Villa, and Tottenham have had a better season. They've got more points. Something's gone on at Tottenham to actually put them in that position, because it doesn't make any sense. Can't believe Man United women lose the FA Cup, says Jamie. Chelsea are a good side. They'll probably do the double. And Lampard almost relegated 2 clubs. Yeah, so he can't get it. It's just Danny. Of course he can't. Who would you say is the most underrated team in the Premier League then? Give me some in the chat. I'd be interested in that. And then we'll do the manager thing. I mean, look, if Pep wins the treble, he's probably going to win it, isn't he? Brighton are underrated, says Rizzy. I don't think so. I think Brighton are very, very rated. Everybody likes Brighton. Bournemouth, says Matan. I think it's a bit underrated what Bournemouth have done to be basically safe. Crystal Palace, says Luca. Yeah, but only in the last few weeks. That you have been pretty crap. Emery at Villa is a great turnaround, says Lesnide. Jesse says Fulham. Obviously, that's we've spoken about them. Villa, says Nate. Liverpool are underrated, says C. I don't know about that. Crystal Palace are underrated, says Dougie. A few Brentfords, a few Palace, a few Wolves. Man City are underrated, says Comment. I think Man City in a way might be underrated, but then again, how can you be underrated when you're going to win another league title, 3 in a row? 3 in a row for City, of course. Only the Man United are the only team to ever do that. 3 Premier League titles in a row. I mean, it's nothing to be sniffed at, is it? I would think that Eric Ten Hag could have been a candidate, except for the fact that the expectation is for United to be top 4 every year, says Stephen. I'm glad. I mean, thank you very much for the super chat, Stephen. But I do agree with you as well. I think that Eric Ten Hag should be a candidate for Manager of the Year, but won't be because it's Manchester United. The expectations of Manchester United change rapidly. Last season, we didn't even hit 60 points. That's the only time we've done that in Premier League history, not hit 60 points. This year, we're going to get top 4 and we're in 2 cup finals. I mean, you've got to be a contender for Manager of the Year for doing that. But because it's Man United, people just go, well, 7-0, you know. So I don't think Ten Hag will get Manager of the Year, but I do think he should be considered, just the same as Eddie Howe should be considered. Chelsea's underrated this season, says Al. They're just not rated, mate. There's no under there. Anyway, please do subscribe to the channel because we're very close to 954,000. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. I think Bournemouth have done a great job of staying up. Who would be my Manager of the Year? I'll give you 3. Right, I'm going to give you my top 3 for Manager of the Year. In third place, I think I would put Eric Ten Hag. I'm a bit biased, but I think to take over a United side, which was absolutely terrible, to go to 2 domestic cup finals and finish in the top 4 with so many problems, the Ronaldo issue, I think he's done a great job. So I would put Eric Ten Hag at 3rd. At number 2, I would put Eddie Howe. I think he's done a really, really great job at Newcastle. They've played some fantastic football. They've been ridiculously consistent, and whilst they are very rich, I don't think it's the money really that I don't think people expected them to be top 4 with that squad. So I think they've overachieved. And then number 1 would be Arteta. I don't really get why Arteta is not being considered anymore just because they're not going to win the league. Arteta can't rest Odegaard, Saka, Xhaka and Gabriel and still go and win a game like this. Pep can rest Grealish, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne and John Stones and still batter Everton away from home. That's what Arsenal were up against. I still think Arsenal have... I mean, talk about Man United's turnaround. They didn't get top 4. The way they've played, the consistency... I think it's incredible what Arsenal have achieved, and I think just because they're not going to win the league doesn't mean it's not a great achievement. I don't think anybody put Arsenal in the top 4. So I think the way they've done it, the consistency, I think Arteta's Manager of the Year for me. But he won't get it because people will be like, well, he didn't win the league. But no, I think he's done a good job. You could give it to Pep, but part of me just feels that Pep's in 3rd gear. I think he's got this amazing squad. They've done it 2 years in a row. I don't think Pep's exerted. I don't think he's challenged. I think it's very easy for Pep. Yeah, but some people would go with Pep and I couldn't argue with it. That would be my top 3 anyway. Ten Hag, Eddie Howe and then Arteta. Give me yours.